Hi guys, how are you today? We're in the cookie. Curious George is what we're going to be reading today. I got my monkeys on, and I'm going to be reading you one of the books of Curious George out of this big book of 5-minute stories. And what you're wondering, what is this hanging? Well, this is part of my bookmark. So if I'm reading something and I have to stop and read, I need to close the book, I'll put something in between where I left off at. Like I'm getting ready to read the next story, so I left my bookmark there so I know when I open where I need to open up the book to continue reading. So I've got my little fishy bookmark with my little fishy dangling little fish at the bottom. That is my bookmark. So today is going to be Curious George Marches in the Parade. This is George. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. This morning, George woke up to find a flag attached to his bedpost. He was curious at first, but then he remembered. It was Celebrate Our Town Day, and there was going to be a picnic. There was going to be a parade. "Good morning, George," said the man with the yellow hat. "Are you ready for Celebrate Our Town Day?" George packed his wagon with everything he could need: his flag, his picnic basket. It was full of delicious snacks, and his little trumpet, of course. "Time to go, George," said the man. George could hardly wait. Everyone in town was headed to the park for the celebration. George and the man met some friends on the street. They had flags and picnic baskets too. George was very impatient to go, but he remembered to wait for the red light before crossing the street. And when you cross the street, remember, some places you can cross the street if you look both ways, but if you see a light at the crosswalk to cross the street, you see there's a hand telling you to stop. And then you'll see there's a picture of a person walking, which will mean that it's okay for you to walk, and all the vehicles will stop and wait for you to pass. Finally, they arrived at the park. "Are you hungry, George?" asked the man. We have all the good snacks you pack. Let's eat before we play." George felt impatient again. He just can't wait. He wanted to climb trees, but he was also feeling hungry. He and the man had a delicious picnic. They ate juicy plums and sweet homemade pie and gulped down cups of cool lemonade. George licked every last crumb from all 10 fingers and toes. Then he was ready. Playtime. George couldn't pick just one game, so he played all of them. He climbed up a lamppost like only a monkey can to catch a wild frisbee. He played some jacks and he only dropped a few. He won a game of hopscotch in 3 seconds flat. Monkeys are very good at hopping. At the playground, George slid down the slide in a blur of fur. Whoosh! And spun his friend on the merry-go-round, maybe a little too fast. Then it was time for the parade. George and the man and all their friends found a spot on the sidewalk to watch. It was a good spot, but George thought he would be able to see better from higher up. He was very impatient to see the float and the band. He could hear them playing, but he couldn't quite see them. So he climbed and he climbed up a tree as only a monkey can. And he looked. He could see the float with Lady Liberty riding tall. He could see the band and hear their happy tune. He could see the pretty white horses prancing at the front of the line. George was very happy with his watching spot until, crack! The branch broke. Down George fell. He landed with a crash. The sound frightened the horses. The horses threw her rider. The rider ran after the horse. The horse barreled into the float, and Lady Liberty toppled into the street. The parade was ruined. Oh no. You think the parade's going to continue going down the street? They're going to fix all the problems that George had crashed, people and animals crashed into different things? Let's find out. George felt awful. George thought and he thought. There had to be a way to clean up the mess. He was very impatient for a good idea. Then he had one. What kind of idea do you think he had? Just look. It's got an apple. What do you think is going to happen? He needed a dress, some stars, some string, something for a torch, an ice cream cone, of course. And last but not least, the horse. Luckily, she saw as impatient for a snack as George was to get the parade started again. Ooh, I think that horse likes apples. Finally, everything was ready. Lady Liberty held her torch high. The band took their places and tuned their instruments. The acrobat stretched and twirled. The clown did tricks while the fire chief and his Dalmatian took their places. George jumped up on the horse and waited patiently for everyone to find their places. Then he blew his whistle and away they went. It was a beautiful parade at last. So I guess they did fix all the problems that have been found. The end. So this is the next book I'm going to read inside this big book, this next story. But I'm not going to read it right now in this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bookmark and I'm going to keep it there and close this book so I remember where my next spot is where I need to read. You see, it's stuck on my next book I need to read. So in the next few videos, I'm going to be reading about Curious George, parents and teachers and grandparents. If you look at the links below, I do have a Facebook page that is for this YouTube channel. Same title, Lola's Enchanted Bookshelf. If you look at the links below, in the links you will find that Facebook page. You'll also find my Facebook page for my business. I do make all sorts of bookmarks. So if you're interested in any of those, I have all sorts of charms. And you can message me on Facebook as well if you check that link below. If you'd like me to read a book that one of your children wants me to read, you can message me through Messenger or comment below. Make sure you give me the title, the author, the illustrator, and the publisher, because I want to make sure I have the right book for you for me to read to them, and I also give them a shout out. So please check those links below. Please click like and follow my YouTube channel. Please click like on the videos. And please share this. You all have a good evening. Bye.